distinct pleasure and opportunity to sit down with Pat Healey, good friend of mine for a number of years, one of the best bowlers I've ever seen internationally and nationally in our country. And Pat, first of all, it's nice to see you bowling again.
Thanks, Tim.
And first and foremost, for most of the viewers out there that do know and have seen Pat Healey, they probably want to know, first of all, how are you feeling health-wise? Because we know that you took your deferment on your PBA tour. You had a very debilitating illness, and maybe you can tell the people, physically how you're feeling right now.
Well, fortunately, I'm feeling better. Obviously, a lot better. Still not 100%. I had an episode where I had a stomach problem, a stomach virus. It was diagnosed as salmonella poisoning. But the problem was I waited too long. I didn't get it checked out quick enough. And once we got the medicine in and it took care of the salmonella, there was some other damage that happened inside my stomach. I don't want to go into detail. It's not real nice, but nonetheless. Yeah, I mean, the doctor's orders were no physical activity for a couple months, and then unfortunately it happened right at the start of the tour this year. So I contacted the PBA, and they were nice about it and gave me a deferment to next year.
Well, that's good. Timing is everything, I guess. But as a friend and a fan, I'm glad to see you're out there feeling healthier and bowling again. So that's nice to see. In reference to the tournament we got going on this week, tell me a little bit about why you're here and how you feel about your chances in the event. You have a unique situation that you're going through this week. You're the head coach of Kuwait bowling national team right now, and you're slowly getting your feet wet back on the lanes, which is nice to see from a fan's perspective. But tell me how you feel about your chances, and your team's chances as well, the guys that you're coaching this week.
Yeah, you mentioned I'm the head coach of the Kuwait national team. Yeah, that happened about a month and a half ago, and it's something I've looked to get into. Obviously, I mean it's looking into the future, and it's something I like, and I think I'm okay at it. I'm going to get better at it, but I like doing it. And with that, I came to the tournament as their coach, first and foremost, and I'm here helping them. And at the same time, the federation's been good to me to give me permission to bowl some tournaments that I asked them to bowl, and this is one of them.
Well, that's great. That's great news for Kuwait, because they get to see you from both sides. They get to learn from you on the lanes. They also get to learn from you behind the lanes, which is obviously going to be a benefit for them immediately and also down the road. Have you been to Saudi Arabia before? And if you haven't, how do you feel about being in Saudi for your first time? And what do you feel about your chances also in this event as well?
Well, this is my second time in Saudi. I was in Jeddah in 1994.
A couple years back.
I bowled the tournament, some years back, but I bowled the tournament in Jeddah in Ibrahim Jirafani's bowling center.
Okay.
Jeddah Bowl, I believe is the name of Jeddah Bowl, right? And it was a good experience. I mean, Saudi Arabia is pretty unique in a lot of its customs and culture, so it was an eye-opening experience back then.
Sure.
But no, in Riyadh, this is my first time in Riyadh, my first time seeing the center. I heard a lot of great things about it, and I have to say it's a great piece of work here. I mean, the center's wonderful. The staff's been good. The tournament runs smoothly for all the entries, for all the bowling, for all the squads, for everything that's going on. No hiccups, and I feel good about it. I feel good, about my chances. What can I say? I mean, I haven't bowled competitively, more than a year, I'd say, since off the tour. So I feel good though in qualifying. I practiced a little bit last week, and I have a good look on the lane, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, from a competitive standpoint, you're obviously one of the favorites to win, whether you're bowling good or whether you're bowling bad or not, because not only have you, like I said before, you had a great career before you went on tour, so you have that international experience, and I think regardless of even if you're not clicking on all cylinders, you're going to have a great chance to win the tournament. The big talk this week has been about what we talk about a lot in bowling. It seems to be the right-handed, left-handed issue, and it's obvious that based on the scores this week that the left-handers seem to have a little bit better opportunity to knock the pins over, to carry a little bit better, and have their scoring pace just be a touch higher than the righties. How do you think this is going to play out in the rest of the qualifying? And then we have a unique unique format in the finals where we're bowling 2-game matches. Do you see any advantage for the lefties as opposed to the lefty and righty issue at that time?
Well, it's obvious based on the lane pattern and where they're playing in the lane that they do have an advantage to get to the pocket and better carry angles. The last bowlers on the left side, so the lanes change. They don't change as fast for them as they do for us. It's apparent, as you said before, it happens in bowling, and it's just happening this week. So going through it, on the tour, going through it in other venues and other tournaments, you try and just close your eyes to it and go out and bowl your best, and don't let it affect you during your match or while you're bowling, because you don't need to worry about stuff like that.
Well, that's certainly obviously great advice to give to some of the kids that you're coaching as well. So if they take that advice, they'll obviously have some success in the matches. I know a lot of the fans out there would like to know. Obviously, they know about your situation now, but what does the future hold for Pat Healey in reference to your bowling? Do you think you're going to join the tour, or do you think you're going to go back out and use your exemption that you have and continue to bowl competitively like you have for the last 20 years, or do you think maybe your career is changing in a different direction? And if so, are you excited about the changes? And what do you feel is in store for Pat Healey? Is basically what I want to know, and what the fans want to know.
Well, quite honestly, I can't give you a definite answer.
That's fine. That's fine.
I'm in a change, I guess you could say, in my career. I mentioned earlier that I do like to teach and like to coach. I see myself doing that, more in the future. At the same time, I'm still a competitor.
Absolutely, guys. Absolutely.
I'm bowling this week. I mean, it's waking me up a little bit to some other things. It won't change, what I'm doing or my decision to come to Kuwait. When I accept a job, that's what I do, and I'm going to do the best I can at it. However, we'll see here and there if there's some tournaments that I can play in. I like to play them and see where I'm at. As far as the tour goes, next season, I got 6 months to make a decision about that, so I'm going to take my time with it. Things so far in Kuwait have been great. They've treated me wonderful, and I foresee the same. I mean, the kids are great, the federation's been great, and hopefully things will continue that way.
That's good news. That's good news. You obviously have a lot on your plate for the future to answer for yourself and the people around you. So I wish you all the best with that. The one question I want to ask you, because it was one of the tournaments that as I decided to take my career in the international circuit, I obviously had the opportunity to follow you, and in the beginning, infancy stages of my career, I had the opportunity to watch how you conducted yourself and bowled, and it certainly helped me make some decisions in reference to my career. One of the biggest tournaments that I bowled early in my career was the 1997 British Open, where we actually all four, myself, you, Thomas Lee Anderson, and Mika Koivuniemi, made the stepladder. It's possibly one of the best stepladders, in English bowling at that time. And maybe even now. Is there any chance you think that maybe if you do continue to bowl that you'll maybe step back up and get an opportunity to bowl the English Open or the London International if the schedule works it out, or maybe one of the Matchroom events, the World Masters that's being conducted right now, because you obviously clearly have all the credentials and are obviously still a great player. So any chance that the English people get an opportunity to see Pat Healey Jr. again?
Well, I certainly hope so. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? As I said,
sure.
It's open for me to do, I guess, what I want or what I like to do. I've been to England various times. Obviously, it's been a while, but I enjoyed it. The competitive spirit of the English people is something you can always count on.
That is certainly true.
And I've always been treated well in England, and sure, I mean, if the opportunity presents itself, I'll definitely look into it, and perhaps sooner than later I'll be there again.
Well, for me, it's a pleasure sitting down with you, and I'm sure a lot of Talk Tenpin fans are going to tune in to find out what the future holds for Pat Healey. So again, thanks for your time, and I wish you as a friend all the best in the future, whatever decisions you make. But you clearly still have it on the lanes, and you're clearly a great bowler, and you've been a guy that I've looked up to over the years, and I appreciate you taking the time, and I'm sure the Talk Tenpin fans will be supporting you in the near future. So thanks again, Pat.
No, thanks for the opportunity.
All right,
Thanks.
thanks.